Every AI company wants you to believe their tool is going to change your life. And maybe it will. But there are some things that most people don't know about AI because AI companies don't necessarily share everything with you. And I think you deserve to know. Hi, I'm Ann, a marketing professional with almost half a decade in the AI networking space. And I'd like to help guide you to understanding AI without the hype or the panic or the ridiculousness surrounding it. Previously, we broke down the main AI models and what makes each one different. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about a few interesting considerations and some potential AI pitfalls. Because if I'm going to be a trusted resource on this stuff, I have to be willing to talk about the cons as well as the pros. So let's talk about some of the things that if you're new to AI or haven't worked with it much, you might not be familiar with. First off, AI hallucinates. Yep, it goes on a little bit of a psychotic trip, and it can be pretty unhinged from reality. This is actually the industry term for when AI makes something up and presents it as fact, and it doesn't get flagged or corrected, doesn't hesitate or question it. It just tells you something completely wrong with total confidence. Lawyers have cited fake court cases generated by AI, and there have been major consequences as a result. Air Canada's AI bots made promises to their customers that weren't policy and ended up, frankly, having to pay out huge damages. Students have been penalized for citing incorrect sources and fabricating information because AI was having a wild fever dream. These models, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, so on and so forth, they're all part of what's called generative AI. In the most basic terms, Gen AI learns and recognizes patterns. Based off of those patterns, decides what is the most likely conclusion. That's where the issue lies. It doesn't confirm, it speculates. This happens with every single model, but the fix isn't to stop using AI, it's to never turn your brain off while you're using it. If something's important, verify it, always. Secondly, your data is part of the deal here. When you type something into a free AI tool, that conversation is often being used to train future versions of the model. So while you're asking ChatGPT to write a report on the quarterly earnings at your company, it's training the model. But it also gives the model any sensitive information you might include. What you put in matters. I'm not saying not to use these tools. I use them every single day. But I'm saying don't paste your social security number, any sort of medical history, client's private information, any of that into an AI chatbot. Read the privacy policies, or at the very least, the highlights. Always know what you're agreeing to. Third, AI has bias, just like people do, because it's built and trained by people. These models are trained on human-generated data, which means they inherit human biases. As a result, they can reflect certain stereotypes, they can favor a certain perspective, they can produce outputs that aren't quite as neutral as they may appear to be. This doesn't make them useless, it just makes them something you engage with more critically rather than just blindly accept. So exercise a little bit of healthy skepticism when you're using these tools. And finally, the environmental cost is real. Training and running large AI models consumes enormous amounts of energy and water and all sorts of resources, and the demand for AI is only increasing. This is a legitimate criticism that doesn't get nearly enough airtime in the mainstream AI coverage and media. Don't feel guilty for using it. I just think an honest conversation about AI has to include that within it. Now, here's where I land in all of this. I'm not a doomer. I genuinely believe these tools, when they're used thoughtfully, can make your life easier. You work better, you're learning faster, so many things. I use them daily and they've genuinely helped me. But I also think the best thing that you can do for yourself in this AI moment is become a critical, informed user rather than a true believer or a total skeptic. The truth is always kind of somewhere in the middle. The goal of this channel isn't to convince you that AI is amazing. It's to give you enough understanding to make your own call and to make it easier for you to understand. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. Always fact check anything AI tells you that actually matters. Keep sensitive personal and professional information out of free AI tools. Notice when an AI output feels off and trust your guts. And stay curious because this space is changing faster than any of us can fully keep up with or imagine. And that's okay, but it's good to be a little bit skeptical. If this resonated with you, especially if you've been feeling a bit skeptical about all the noise that's surrounding AI and confused about it, I'd love to have earned your subscription. And I hope that you'll chat with me in the comments. Drop your biggest AI concern down below. I read all the comments. And yeah, I want to know what's on your mind. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.